One of the best things you can have if you're doing a little at-home old car wiring is just a long piece of wire with a clip on each end. Now, I'll show you with my light here. This red wire here is hot. It's got 12 volts. So I can hook this onto here. And that will hold that in place while I take this in and touch it here. And the turn signal light starts blinking. So I want to know, is it just the light blinking? Or is it, you know, is it the light on the dash? Is that the only thing that's blinking? Or is it the actual turn signals front and rear? So I'm going to click this onto here, and we'll know that that yellow wire, according to the dash, is a left turn signal. So let's go look. I don't see no light. So I've got a front light, so those may be separate, or that the front and the back aren't necessarily hooked together. But we know now that the yellow wire is the front turn signal. The other red wire's got nothing. So now let's try the white wire. Now I hear the flasher flashing. Let's go see if we got anything out here flashing. Yep, that's the white wire is the right rear. I should start writing this down because I won't remember it. So I'm going to cut the switch off, take this loose. I'm going to go get a piece of paper and start writing this down because I won't remember otherwise. All right, so these are the wires that's going to work my turn signals. This one here is for the horn. This piece needs to go back on here. Now this also had a light inside of it, with a little tube right there. I could go ahead and take that out. I cut the wire on that, left it in there. So all these wires are out here where I can get to them. And this here has a wiring diagram on the back, and it's actually set up to wire front and rear on separate wires. Now let's talk a little bit about the flasher. You have to get a certain amount of heat on a flasher for it to work. I was a little bit surprised that it worked on individual bulbs a while ago when I was testing these lights one at a time. I've had situations before where I've changed over to LED bulbs, and the LED bulbs, that was on a Volkswagen I had, wouldn't pull enough heat to kick the flasher over, and I had to get a different flasher to run those LED bulbs. So I'm not sure what the purpose is of running a whole separate wire all the way from each light and up the steering column and to this and then back, you know, and then to wherever it goes for each separate light. I mean, it seems like you could have one light wire that would go down the column and operate both sides, front and back, you know, on one side and then front and back on the other side. But not for me to figure out the engineering of the past, so we'll leave that be. So what I'm going to do is put this little piece back on here, and it has a little odd little square bolt connector that has to slide into this little shaft right here. So I'm going to try to put all that back like it was and get that bolt back in there. And I think, like I said, I think I'll take that little white holder out of here. We might want to use that somewhere else. And then see if I can get this to go back. There's actually a broken piece under the bottom of this thing that I hadn't noticed before. But this should go on like this, and hopefully those little notches will slip into place there for these bolts. Looks like that one did. I don't think this one has yet. There you go. When I pushed it down, it went onto there. Now I think I can get those. I think I can get that to tighten back up and hold that piece in place. Now I've still got the the pernundle indicator here, and it's connected to here, which none of that will be functional. And it looks like it's not on there straight, so I should loosen it up and redo it. Interesting. Kind of fun to see some of this old, you know, I grew up on this old technology, but it's fun to see both the simplicity of it and the complicated nature of it. I mean, you know, how would you like to be the mechanic that had to change that little light bulb in there that lit up the pernundle sign? So you'd have to take off steering wheel, you'd have to take all this turn signal mess out, all these wires, you'd get that thing. I guess you wouldn't have to take the wires off, but just getting that bulb out of there was quite the beast. So this piece goes in that. There. And this spring goes down in there. Now the wheel's straight. Not really. You want your wheels to be straight so that your emblem will be correct. On this car it goes like that. So this needs to go like this. And then you have this and this. Now I could have left the horn in there. Maybe. I don't know. I guess it's like a lot of things. If I'd have realized what I was getting into, I might could have, I don't know. You know, it would have been really hard to get those wires out of there if that horn was still in there. So probably I couldn't have done that. Although I'm saying I could have, but in reality, probably not. But it won't be any trouble to put an external horn button on this. And that's what I'll do. I'll put a horn button on the column or something. Somewhere. I saw on YouTube where a YouTuber was talking about driving a car home with a pair of vice grips on the steering column the other day, where someone had taken the steering wheel off, and he bought a car and drove it home steering it with a pair of vice grips. A lot of weird things you do, you know, when you're messing around with old cars. That looks about right. So I'll go ahead and put this back on there. Oops. I'm missing a spring. What did I do with that big spring? There we go. Okay, so now I've got all these wires here, plus my horn. That's my horn right there. I think that's my horn. One of these is my horn. And just have to ground it out to make it work. Okay. So the horn wire is hot, and you ground it to make it blow. So that's that. So that'll be an easy fix. So basically, what I've got here is the this red wire down here is hot wire, and then yellow is front left, orange is rear right. I don't think that's right. I think that should be rear left. Let's hook up orange and try it. That's the thing about being dyslexic, is you'll get it wrong. You'll get it wrong just automatically. I wrote down one thing and was thinking something else, but see, this should be a hot wire right here. Now, orange should be rear left. Let's check that. Okay, that's correct. So I'll turn that off and change this rear left. So yellow and orange is left, and white and black is right, and blue is the horn. Okay, it's getting warm-ish, and I'm sitting here in the sun. So I think what I'm gonna do is just, I got y'all facing the wrong way, don't I? Bless my heart. I think I'm gonna pull this in there, and that way I can do this wiring inside without sitting in the hot sun. There you go.